It starts with two simple words. I'm sorry. You say it when you're late, when you're not, when someone bumps into you. You say it when you've done nothing wrong, just breathing, just existing. You smile softly, try to make it sound casual, harmless, but deep down it feels like a shield, because somewhere inside, you learned that being sorry keeps you safe. That if you apologize first, maybe you won't be blamed, maybe you won't be abandoned, maybe the world will stay calm. And so, without even realizing it, you became fluent in apology. There's a quiet kind of exhaustion that lives in people who always apologize. It's not about guilt, it's about fear. Fear of being misunderstood, fear of causing pain, fear of taking up too much space. Psychologists sometimes call this the fawn response's survival mechanism, where you please, appease, or apologize to avoid conflict. But in human terms, it's simpler than that. It's the story of someone who learned that love was conditional, that acceptance had to be earned. So you learned to preempt pain with softness, to replace truth with politeness, to smooth over tension before it ever formed. You didn't just learn to say I'm sorry, you learned to live it. Your posture, your tone, your silence, it all whispers, please, don't be angry with me. And while the world may see you as kind, polite, thoughtful, they don't see the storm inside. The guilt that appears before you've even done anything wrong. The endless self-questioning. Did I upset them? Did I say too much? Did I do something wrong again? This isn't about weakness, it's about survival. You apologize, not because you're broken, but because once, being sorry was the only thing that kept you safe. Go back for a moment, before the apologies, before the fear. Picture a child in a house filled with unpredictable weather. One day, sunshine, the next, thunder. The child never knows which version of love they'll meet. Maybe you grew up in a home where anger was sharp, sudden, and terrifying, where mistakes led to shouting, cold silence, or slammed doors. And in those moments you learned, if I say I'm sorry fast enough, maybe it won't get worse. Or maybe, no one ever told you that your feelings mattered. You cried, and they said, stop being dramatic. You disagreed, and they called it disrespect. So you learned to apologize just for existing as yourself. For some, the lesson was even subtler. You saw a parent walking on eggshells, keeping peace that never lasted. You copied them. You became the little diplomat, the emotional fixer, the good one, because being good meant being loved, and being loved meant never upsetting anyone. That's how it begins, tiny acts of emotional survival that turn into lifelong habits. You start apologizing before you even know what you've done. You overthink every word, every silence, every look. You read faces like weather forecasts, scanning for storms you can prevent. And somewhere in that vigilance, you lose something sacred, your sense of innocence. Because when a child learns to carry the blame for everyone's emotions, they grow up believing every pain is somehow their fault. You became the emotional thermostat of your household, adjusting yourself to keep others comfortable, smiling through the tension, swallowing your truth, saying sorry when all you wanted to say was, that hurt me. You might not realize it, but the reflex to apologize has seeped into every corner of your life. It's woven into your speech, your body language, even your heartbeat. You apologize when someone interrupts you. You apologize when someone hurts you. You apologize for things completely beyond your control, the weather, traffic, other people's moods. You say, I'm sorry the way other people say hello. It's your emotional currency, your peace offering, your invisible shield. You read people like open books, constantly gauging their emotions, searching for clues. Are they upset? Did I say something wrong? Are they distant because of me? It's not paranoia, it's pattern recognition. Your nervous system learned to scan for threat before your mind even realizes it. You downplay your pain. If you're sick, you say, it's nothing. If someone hurts you, you say, it's okay. I know you didn't mean it, because conflict feels unbearable, and forgiveness feels safer than honesty. You struggle to ask for help. You'd rather suffer quietly than risk burdening someone else. You equate need with weakness, forgetting that being human is needing. And when someone compliments you, your first instinct is to deflect. Oh, it's nothing, or I just got lucky, because deep down, you've linked humility with safety. Sometimes, you even apologize in your mind for emotions no one can see, for being tired, for needing space, for feeling too much. It's as if your very existence demands justification. You're gentle, empathetic, endlessly forgiving, and while people praise your kindness, few realize it's built from fear. the fear that one wrong word will make the world stop loving you. You've mistaken peace for absence of conflict. But true peace doesn't come from silence, it comes from self-trust. And somewhere, deep within you, there's a voice whispering to be heard. I'm tired of saying sorry for being human. From a psychological standpoint, chronic apologizing often ties back to early attachment wounds. When children experience inconsistent love or unpredictable anger, their developing brains adapt through hypervigilance. The amygdala, part of your brain responsible for detecting danger, stays overactive, always scanning for threat. So even as an adult, your body reacts to subtle cues: tone, silence, a sigh as if danger is near. Your mind rushes to neutralize it with the safest tool it knows: apology. Studies from the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology show that people with high empathy and low self-worth often default to over-apologizing as a way to regulate others' emotions. It's a form of emotional management, also known as compassion fatigue, where your empathy becomes so heightened it exhausts you. Carl Jung would call this your shadow self, the parts of you that carry shame, fear, and the need to control peace. Because if you can keep everyone calm, maybe your inner chaos will stay quiet too. Neuroscience calls this the locus of control. When it's external, you believe your safety depends on others' reactions. But when it's internal, you realize safety begins within. That's the shift you're longing for, from "I'm sorry" to "I'm allowed." But here's what no one tells you about people who always apologize. You can drown in your own empathy. You become everyone's comfort zone but your own. You carry other people's emotions like fragile glass, terrified of dropping even one. You say yes when your heart whispers no. You absorb guilt that isn't yours to carry. And after a while, the apologies start to hollow you out. You begin to vanish behind your own politeness. Every "I'm sorry" chips away at your identity, until you're left wondering, who am I when I'm not trying to make everyone else okay? The dark truth is this: the world rarely apologizes back. Because you've trained people to believe you'll take the blame. You've trained them to accept your guilt as their comfort. And deep down, that leaves you lonely. You crave authenticity, but fear it. Because authenticity means saying, "That hurt me. I disagree," or "I deserve better." And you've spent a lifetime believing those words make you selfish. Your relationships might look peaceful, but they often lack depth. People love the version of you that never complains, never resists, never demands. But they don't truly see you, because you've hidden behind apology for so long that even you've forgotten your real voice. And when you finally reach your breaking point, it's quiet. Not loud anger, not confrontation, just quiet withdrawal. You stop trying. You stop reaching out. You shrink back into yourself, thinking, maybe I really am too much. But let me tell you something. You are not too much. You are someone who learned to equate harmony with safety. And it's time to unlearn that. Healing from chronic apologizing isn't about never saying sorry again. It's about learning when your apology is genuine and when it's fear in disguise. The first step is awareness. Notice the moments when "I'm sorry" leaves your lips automatically. Pause, breathe, ask yourself, did I really do something wrong, or am I just afraid? The second step is reframing. Replace unnecessary apologies with truth. Instead of "I'm sorry for bothering you," say "thank you for your time." Instead of "I'm sorry I'm emotional," say "thank you for listening." It shifts your energy from guilt to gratitude. Then comes inner child work. That small version of you, the one who learned that love had to be earned, still lives inside you. They don't need more punishment. They need permission. Permission to speak, to feel, to exist without apology. Therapy, journaling, and shadow work can help you meet that inner child with compassion instead of shame. Because healing isn't about silencing your empathy, it's about balancing it. You can be kind without self-erasure. You can be caring without being sorry. You don't have to shrink to be safe. You just have to be honest to be free. You've spent a lifetime saying sorry for things that were never your fault, for emotions that were valid, for boundaries that were necessary. But hear this, you don't have to apologize for existing anymore. You don't have to earn your right to be here. You are allowed to take up space, to speak truth, to be imperfect and still loved. The world needs your kindness, but it also needs your courage. It needs your voice, not your constant forgiveness. So next time you feel "I'm sorry" rising in your throat, pause and choose something braver, because you are not the apology. You are the person who survived without one.